Come on, ladies. I hope your men are a part of those 1.5 million. Here we are today, taking the campaign to the next level. And we have some very respected people on the panel with us today who are known for the fabulous work that they do. First up, please welcome on stage the co-founder of the NGO Akshara and someone who has worked really hard towards empowering women, Dr. Nandita Shah.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, is laundry a woman's job? First up.
I don't think there is any job that is saying, let's do it together, because it's our
Contribute
joint work.
equally, yes.
And it's our joint work. Running a house, it's everybody's house and everybody needs to come together. And that's the message that we need to give to our new generation. And I think they are ready.
I'd like to share something. You know, my husband is someone who does more than I do. So he contributes more to the home than I do. And I feel very proud of that. And I think I'm very lucky and blessed that it may be unequal in the other way. Okay. Now what we're looking for here is behavioral change. But behavioral change just doesn't come about like that. Behavioral change comes along with a change in mindset, an increased awareness. So how do we achieve that change in mindset? That's something that is so deep-rooted, isn't it?
I feel that it's a slow process, but today you see a lot of change that is there. The fact that you got...
She is a woman that a lot of women really admire and look up to. Please welcome on stage the very lovely Tabu!
Happy Women's Day to everybody.
Happy Women's Day to the
the
two
men also.
Lovely ladies here on stage. Tabu, first up, looking great. Looking very nice. Lovely having you here for an event like this.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, one needs women of substance like her for thoughts like this. So, first up, I'm going to ask you this Share the Load campaign. It started a year ago. It's basically about, you know, equality as far as household chores are concerned, equality and responsibility at home. What are your thoughts on this message, Share the Load?
So I'm here in this event because of the film that I saw a few days back. And I was skeptical about doing this event till I saw the film. And it said so much without saying it so loudly that I came back and I got back to the people who had called me for the event, and I said, listen, I'm doing the show because it's connected to the film. And without going into details and intense details, what spoke to me was the fact that it's actually the father who has this realization. You know, I think that's what really spoke to me so loudly. And in just that one shot, it says so much about conditioning, about families, about the man-woman relationship. And it's a fantastic film. No doubt that it's gained momentum and the whole world is talking about it and actually endorsing it and re-endorsing it in so many ways. So I think campaigns like this are wonderful. That can, work at a subliminal level, but work at the core and basic place where change needs to happen.
So this film really resonated very well with you. Can you share with us maybe some incidents closer home about sharing the load?
Actually, when I saw the film, I immediately thought of this uncle I have and another cousin, males. Of course, uncle is male, but who was so particular about doing their laundry themselves that they never allowed anybody to touch their clothes. They did their laundry themselves, and in a time where there were no washing machines either. And they ironed their clothes, and they kept it in the most meticulous manner in their wardrobes, and nobody was allowed to handle their clothes. So that's what I remembered, yeah.
So you have people from your family who've been sharing the load, and that's why this film connected also so well with
Yes,
you.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, there are few, but nevertheless.
All right. Okay, time now to invite on stage two amazing people, two actors who have wowed audiences with their incredible talent and time again, riveting performances. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Supriya, Pathak and Pankaj Kapur. Good afternoon to the both of you.
Good afternoon.
Pankaj-ji, you are an extremely evolved gentleman. Please do tell us how much you shared the load with Supriya-ji.
Well, thanks for calling me evolved. I thought I was in the process. Well, as far as sharing the load is concerned, I think it came quite naturally to both of us. When we got married, we were quite clear that everything is going to be 50-50 between the two of us. So, but I'm happy that it is happening on a public level today in terms of advertising, in terms of people actually talking about it, sharing it. As far as we are concerned, we always have had this thing of doing everything together. And there are frankly many examples, starting with when we got married. We are both actors, and so we used to go our own way, and there was very little time that we could spend together. And then we decided to open a company of our own so that our children are together with us, and we are able to share the load of a household and profession equally with each other. So for us, to be honest, it started many years back since we got married. But yes, as a concept, I was always in agreement with it and was a part of it. The fact that today's man should address this is also from the point of view that from time immemorial, the parts between men and women were divided. But in today's time, when both of them are doing a lot of work professionally, therefore it's time that men realized that they should be sharing everything together. I would say it is true for both the partners in a relationship where they should be able to take on whatever comes their way as an equal part of sharing, whether it is the household work or the outside responsibility.
Supriya-ji, how much did he actually share the load? I really want to... I'm not talking about professionally, I'm talking about at home. How true are his words? I'd like to know from you, I'm not disregarding anything you said, but also how much did sharing of the load improve relationships improve your relationship?
I think what he said is absolutely true. I mean, we have and he has shared almost everything in the house as much as he was saying outside. I personally feel that is what brought our relationship, cemented everything into our relationship, because the children were not my responsibility alone, it was ours. The house was not my responsibility alone, it was ours. So he was as responsible for a mistake or the good in the house as I was. So there was not that I could blame him or he could blame me. So we had to work together towards doing everything right or wrong, whichever way, and bettering the wrong. So it kept happening all the time, and I'm sure in every relationship this happens all the time. You are going to make mistakes and you're going to learn, but if you're not sharing the load, then you have somebody to blame and keep your hands up and say, I've got nothing to do with it. But here, because it didn't happen, I think it really cemented our relationship.
And since this is all about mindsets, how important is this? How important is it to make sure this mindset goes down to the next generation? What has your messaging been to your son as far as sharing responsibilities and equality of a relationship is concerned?
I think we have all known this fact that if you set an example, if you are an example, or if there is somebody else who is an example, you're right there to learn from that person. So instead of making statements or saying things, if you actually do it, and if you're actually showing it to your children when they're very, very small, it will come naturally to them when they grow up. But if you tell them in sentences that, look, you're supposed to share the load, I think it would be less effective. So I presume it's more to do with the atmosphere at home, and for men and women both to say that this family is our responsibility together, so let's share everything possible, which will make it easier for children to learn and follow it when they grow up as adults.
That's right. That's where the mindset comes from, isn't it, Dr. Shah? That you, and that's where these negative mindsets also come from. When sons see their parents in an unequal relationship, that's how they think it's okay to have a similar kind of relationship when they grow up. But it works positively too as well.
Actually, the ad that the AV that I saw actually talks about that, It's not making a statement by saying, look, this is what you have to do. But it's telling you exactly that this is what you should be doing in such a quiet way. And I think that's more effective. When I saw it, I cried because it was very effective. And if he had said, you should do it like that, I don't think I would have accepted it. And today's child would definitely not have accepted it,
Okay, everybody's talking about the ad. We're going to leave it for a little bit later, but I think we should play the ad out right now. It was launched just 15 days ago, 15th of February, I think, or somewhere there. And it's already got close to 26 million views. I think it has resonated with everybody. People have come out and started sharing their own stories. These are all reactions to the film. And when all of you get a chance after the proceedings on stage are over, please do take a look at them, these reactions. It's resonated well with people, and people have connected to it. So I'm sure all of you have seen it, but we're going to give you a chance to maybe get your eyes moist once again. So ladies and gentlemen, can we quickly have the film and we can talk about it right after. Sitting over here on the ad.
Very nice. Very nice.
Shimit, the director, one of my favorite directors. Ariel, and PNG, everybody who's connected and contributed to making this film. Really, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it makes you choke up. It's so beautifully made. Pankaj, your thoughts from a father's perspective?
As I said, the best thing about the film is that it's not sloganizing. It's setting an example, which is what we talked about a while ago, that if somebody, in this case, it's an old man who realizes that he has not done it all his life and is ready to make that change, which is so, so wonderful. Because if an old man who a lot of people look up to, especially the family, if he decides to change his mind and sort of shows that this is a realization that has happened to him, it's a most wonderful way of communicating what you want to communicate to your people. And therefore it comes so easily for the younger generation to learn from the older. And if the older decides to improve upon themselves, even though they are old, it is such a wonderful way of communicating this to
saying it's
to the
never
youngsters.
too late to change.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also, another thing that I really felt was that, even the girl, she's not feeling very sad for herself.
She's not feeling sorry for herself
she's not
at all.
feeling
That's
sorry,
that's
and
all in a
she's
day's
doing
work
it
for
as
her.
a job, and that's great because that's what I think women do.
And that's what she's conditioned
Yeah.
to.
And also, it's somewhere nobody's wrong. Even the boy, the husband. That's what he's always
He's
done.
he's
And
grown up seeing that in his
seeing
own
that.
family.
So
Yes.
that's what I think the beauty of the film is, that nobody is shown as you've made the mistake, but you still realize the mistake you've made.
Message from the media, changing mindsets. This is how we
and
can change
think
mindsets.
It's really so reflective, and that's the beauty, So it allows you that process of reflection to do, and that's, I agree with everybody that it's, this kind of sloganeering instead of that kind of reflective thing. And, you could see the mother's expression when suddenly she sees her husband. Women are not ready for the change, and I think it's time for us to also be ready. Because even if sometimes men come to help, men come to share the load, we are hesitant because it will be seen as one, that you are not good enough. And I think that also is in a kind of very, very subtly brought into it. And I think that's also something that we need to bring in.
I think that's really well said. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
well
true.
said, because somebody like me at times has experienced this. And even today, sometimes I do experience this because it comes naturally to Supriya to say that these are my responsibilities. But
Yeah.
supposing on a day she's shooting and I say I'll look after the house, she's still calling up. And I actually get angry about that. And I say, when I said I'll look after it, why don't you let me do it? So it's a mindset which needs to change on both the sides. More on the side of the male, but also on the side of the woman.
But the way people have reacted to it, and it's resonated so well with so many people, I think we're ready for change. Don't you think we're ready for that change? We're ripe and ready. And
Yeah, I think what we're talking about is also the metropolises where we are ready, maybe. In the interiors, as she's saying, we really need to bring about that change. And a lot of work has to be done to make the women realize that, look, it's not your incompetence, but it's a necessity that, you need to have somebody share the load. So that, I think, is a message that we really need to penetrate still more into India itself.
now, Ariel conducted a survey a little while ago, and that has some messages for us too. Some men and children were interviewed and asked. Okay, are they going to be on stage, or as per that survey?
In mindset change. So definitely starting from home, setting examples as what is mentioned in the film, but it needs to go beyond to say what's happening in school, playgrounds. Do women get access to playgrounds, or they are put into a C1 class or something like that? So every step of this division of labor that gets reinforced, we need to challenge. And that is what we are hoping to do along with this campaign is over. I think for us, because we've been working on this for last many years, and I'm sure that Ariel is also going to continue this process. It's not going to be over with one ad or a campaign. How do we take this process forward and really be part of the movement for change? And that's what we want to do post the campaign.
Very quickly, don't you find there would be some sort of we're ripe and ready for commercials like this, messaging like this, but yet this is how we think.
I think it all comes down to conditioning.
Yes.
And it's not just years, but like millions and millions of years of conditioning. I think it's just reflective of that. How that's going to change and what we need to do to change that. It's going to be a really long process.
It's the first step in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, and even a small step is welcome in this direction.
Yes.
Especially because if we take it on a micro level of a couple, I think a man and a woman, when they come together and they decide to spend their lives together, they are agreeing to sharing each other's lives, not just living with each other and being spectators of each other's lives, but sharing everything that comes with the other person's life also. So they actually become one in that manner.
Okay, how many dads do we have here? Please put husbands, dads. I'm not going to call you on stage. Just I want to see. Nobody? Like seriously? They're just scared to put their...
Has been happening and what should happen in today's time with the changes historically that are happening with both men and women. So I think it's a very natural process. For instance, if somebody asks me, do you believe in religious equality? It's a stupid question to ask because every human being is born in the same manner. Therefore, you define his life after the child is born. So similarly for a thing of two human beings, whether it's a man or a woman, there should be equal share of load. It should be as simple for anybody to understand. And those who don't understand need to educate themselves. So let's try and open up our minds and say that whatever we have been conditioned to, let's look upon it in an objective manner and see where we stand today and have today's look and see how we can take society in a progressive manner in the years to come.
I know I said last word, but Supriya ji, last thought, a final
Not
thought.
the last word. She always has the last word.
Yes, I always have the last word, and that's how it should be.
I love this relationship. It's a great relationship. It's an unequal relationship in the opposite way.
Well, I would personally say that the fact that there is still these statistics, there is a lot of work still to do. And I think as the media is here, I would say the media really can help, as it does in most of the things. But here is a thing that, and you were talking earlier about television. I think television can help in a very, very big way. I don't understand why they don't. But that is,
Instead
these
of
are the
reinforcing
ways.
stereotypes, they
Yeah.
should put out positive messages,
Put out positive,
aspirational
yes.
messages.
And try and explain that there is, it's not, you know, when they are putting something as a, not realizing that this might not impact them, but it will impact somebody down the line so much more.
And generations to
And
come.
generations to come is what we have to really work on.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you very much.
For
Hello. Yeah.
तरह से देखा, और जो हम कह रहे हैं कि हमारे बच्चे हमें ही देख के कहीं ना कहीं कुछ सीखते हैं, तो वो ही था. My mother was a working woman, and I didn't feel that there was any necessity for me to be empowered, because I always felt empowered. I never had the problem of having to really make a space for myself or place for myself, because that was given. So I don't know that feeling, but I always have felt that I have the power to do anything that I want to.
Like Supriya ji said, I think it comes, a huge part of it belongs to your upbringing and the kind of women you see around. So even I always felt that working women is just a norm in every family. But of course, I felt most happy and strong when I bought my own house in Mumbai. And that's when I felt capable and able for some reason. Because I was in a new city and, I finally thought that, okay, here I am. I have my own few square feet.
Hi, Tabu. Ravi from AVP News. Tabu, बॉलीवुड में भी एक किस्म का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है. हीरो को ज़्यादा तवज्जो मिलती है, हीरोइन को कम तवज्जो मिलती है. एक किस्म का सेक्सिज्म भी है. इस पर आपकी क्या राय है? और पंकज जी, आपकी राय भी जानना चाहूँगा इस पे, जो बॉलीवुड में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है.
भाई, इसके लिए मैं जिम्मेदार नहीं हूँ पहले तो. दूसरी बात यह है कि जैसे हम समाज के अंदर तब्दीली लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वैसे ही अगर आप गौर करेंगे तो पिछले कुछ सालों में ऐसी फिल्में बन रही हैं जिनके अंदर के फीमेल कैरेक्टर्स जो हैं वो प्रेडोमिनेंट हैं. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि परसेंटेज बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन कुछ ना से बेहतर हुई है पिछले 20, 25, 30 सालों में मेरे ख्याल में. सवाल ये है कि जब समाज का माइंडसेट बदलेगा और कहानियाँ ऐसी लिखी जाएंगी और ऐसा महसूस किया जाएगा कि ये हमारे समाज के अंदर दोनों तरह के लोगों के लिए, मर्दों के लिए भी और औरतों के लिए भी, लड़कों के लिए भी और लड़कियों के लिए भी कहानियाँ जो हैं वो कही जानी चाहिए, जो कि राइटिंग के अंदर आती हैं लेकिन स्क्रीन के ऊपर नहीं आ पाई हैं अभी तक। लेकिन मेरा ख्याल ये है कि अगर इस तरह की कहानियाँ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लिखी जाएंगी और लोग इस तरह की कोशिश करेंगे, लेकिन इस अवेयरनेस के बाद हो पाएगा। अगर ये अवेयरनेस लोगों के अंदर पैदा होती है तो नेचुरल प्रोसेस और आउटकम इसका ये होगा कि वैसी कहानियाँ लिखी जाएंगी और वैसा मौका मिलेगा फीमेल एक्टर्स को उस तरह के कैरेक्टर्स करने का, और कई इस तरह की फिल्में बनना हमारे यहाँ भी शुरू हो जाएंगी।
बिल्कुल पंकज जी ने सही कहा, और लेकिन मुझे ये भी लगता है एक और डायमेंशन मुझे लगता है कि फाइनली ऑडियंस एक बहुत हद तक डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर है जिस किस्म की फिल्में हमारी इंडस्ट्री में बनती हैं। सो जब ऑडियंस का डिमांड जिस तरफ होता है तो उसी किस्म की फिल्में बनती हैं जो कमर्शियली ज़्यादा वायबल लगती हैं प्रोड्यूसर्स को। सो व्हेन दिस thing will change or shift or evolve, then we'll get different kinds of cinema, different kinds of film with different kinds of importance of roles to men, women, older, younger, and all of that. So I think the audience's demand is also contributing a lot, and I think you are also part of the audience. So somewhere we are all responsible for doing and creating what we create in our own fields. Yeah.
Now, the audience's demand over here is to ask more questions, but I think we have to wrap up proceedings on stage. Whatever questions they have for you, they'll be asking on a group bite, and there might be some one-on-ones as well. So that brings us to the end of the proceedings on stage, requesting the panel.
तरकीबें तो नहीं बता सकती बदलाव की।
दिखाई दे रहे हैं और कुछ आने वाले वक्त में दिखाई देंगे। ये अब हम सब पे है कि हम उस बदलाव में कितनी तेज़ी लाना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए हम लोग जिम्मेदार हैं। और बदलाव का इनिशिएशन जिसको कहते हैं या शुरुआत जिसको कहते हैं वो तो हो चुकी है।
तो एरियल और पीएनजी के बारे में क्या कहेंगे, जो इन्होंने इनिशिएटिव लिया,
जो भी इनिशिएटिव लिया गया है इस ऐड के थ्रू, मेरा ख्याल